Liberia Communications Incorporated. Good afternoon and welcome to King's News Broom. 45 minutes news about Liberia, Africa, and our one world. Today is Tuesday, November 26, 2024, and I'm Shemon Dia presenting. In the headlines, U.S. Ambassador to Liberia, Mark Turner, warns against abuse of the rule of law in the removal of House Speaker Councillor Jonathan Fonati Kofa. As former President George Weah raises concerns over hijack of democracy by the embattled Speaker Ostos.
They're trying to off the speaker from the house unconstitutional. And the entire world is watching.
In nearly a month of protest, staffers of the National Elections Commission demand salaries and benefits payment. The aggrieved net workers accuse net boss David Brown Lasana and others of failing to address the plight. And also in the news, United Methodist Church suspends Vice President at the Bishop John G. Ignis Graduate School, Reverend Jerry Kula, for reportedly undermining the United Methodist Church teachings. And away from home, Israel's military says it carried out strikes on 6 Hezbollah targets in South Beirut earlier today. China has warned Washington that no one will win a trade war as Donald Trump threatens to impose an additional 10% tariff on goods heading to the United States. These plus our news bulletin. Voices of those making the news are all packaged, but we'll take a break to be right back. Welcome back and thanks for being there. At this juncture, we join Sam Andrews with the news bulletin.
United States Ambassador to Liberia, Mark Turner, has issued a warning for the respect of the rule of law in the political maneuvering at the House of Representatives for the removal of Speaker Fonati Kofa. Speaking Monday when the U.S. ambassador visited former President George Weah at his rehab residence, Ambassador Turner disclosed that the U.S. government is closely monitoring events at the Capitol Hill and is looking to see how Liberia's political process plays out peacefully with respect to the rule of law. He further said Liberia needs peace more than ever before. The U.S. ambassador to Liberia has, however, challenged Liberian political leaders to show unity. On Sunday, during regular church service, former President George Weah blamed Bwakai's administration for the impasse at the House of Representatives. The former Liberian leader also condemned the action of the lawmakers, stating that the rebelling lawmakers are trying to hijack Liberia's democracy. The breakaway majority bloc at the lower house, has been criticized by several Liberians home and abroad for their failure to adhere to the mandate of the Supreme Court. Aggrieved staffers of the National Elections Commission are continuing protests over unpaid salary and arrears and benefits by authorities of the commission. A number of NEC staffers Monday staged a protest at the headquarters of the National Elections Commission in what is considered continuation of their demands for salary and other benefits. On November 5th, about 110 staffers of the commission signed a resolution calling for swift action on their demands for the payment of salaries and benefits, which is reportedly part of a broader grievances within NEC. The aggrieved workers or staffers have been demanding their benefits, including elections hazard allowances. According to them, they lack secure insurance coverage, despite usually being faced with high risks during election periods, which include transporting materials to remote areas and ensuring the conduct of voting. The group of aggrieved NEC staffers spokesperson, Rennie Glicker, recently said they will not resume work until their demands are met. Recent reports have also indicated severe tension between NEC chairperson David Brown Lasana and other commissioners, including Tibla Reeves, over accountability, leadership, and financial management within the commission. The United Methodist Church has suspended Reverend Dr. Jerry Kula, Vice President for the Bishop John G. Innes Graduate School of Professional Studies at the United Methodist University. The decision was based on recommendations from the Investigative Committee and the Church Council of Board of Ordained Ministry, citing violations of the United Methodist Church discipline. Reverend Kula faces allegations of undermining United Methodist Church teachings, unity, and policies by promoting the agenda of the Global Methodist Church. Among the accusations, he is alleged to have prioritized the Global Methodist Church Traditional Book of Doctrines and Discipline over the UMC Book of Discipline 2026. He is also accused of serving as a coordinator for GMC related activities, including his involvement with Mount Horeb Global Methodist Church, a breakaway group that severed ties with UMC in 2022. Additionally, his affiliation with the Wesleyan Covenant Association and coordination of the African Initiative are said to have contributed to fostering division within the church. Broom County District 6 Representative Member Briggs Menza has challenged the majority bloc to remove Speaker Fonati Kofa in accordance with the law by acquiring the required number approved by the Constitution. She said while it is true that she abstained and remains on the line until the right things are done, it is prudent to resolve the issues and have a quorum that will constitute a 37 lawmakers to do the Liberian people work. Representative Member Briggs Mensa added that it is necessary for her colleagues to come to the main chambers to express their grievances. If the Speaker does not exonerate himself properly, they have the right to get the numbers and have him removed. The Supreme Court has announced Wednesday, November 27, as the date to hear the petition filed by the Inbato House Speaker, Councillor Fonati Kofa, regarding his colleague's action. The High Court pronouncement, according to our judicial correspondent, through a notice of assignment to the parties regarding Wednesday legal argument in the Supreme Court at 11 a.m. Ahead of Wednesday's legal proceedings, the court has since placed a stay order on the majority bloc action and mandated the parties, including Justice Minister, to find their returns on or before Tuesday, November 26. The Imbato Speaker petition has questioned his colleague's action violated the Constitution. Nima County Senator Prince Johnson has dedicated a PYJ Polytechnic University auditorium in honor of former Togolese President Nsingbe Iyadima. In early November, Senator Johnson led an array of educators and leaders to break grounds for the establishment of the university, which was later granted its charter in 2021 by the National Commission on Higher Education to run as a full-fledged university in Liberia, offering bachelor degree programs. Speaking Monday at the ceremony in Gantat City, Senator Johnson said, naming the hall in honor of the late president of Togo is aimed at appreciating him for his numerous contributions through education to the people of Liberia and the West African region as a whole. Senator Johnson maintained that the motivation for establishing the university is to provide competitive learning opportunity as an alternative to those in need. Noting quality education is the most viable strategy in transforming any society. Serving as guest speaker at the occasion, Kanga Malik Nachibi, an official of the Togolese government, thanked the Board of Trustees of PYJ University, Polytechnic University, for the honor bestowed on the late president. According to Nachibi, this serves as a mark of friendship and partnership between the two countries that will go a long way in fostering coordination for peace and democracy amongst African leaders, ensuring sustainable development for all. The president of the Liberia Business Association has returned home after participating in a 4-day meeting of ECOWAS Small Business Associations in Abidjan, the Ivory Coast. LIBA President James Trotter said delegates at the meeting have resolved to support the exportation of goods produced to each other of the member states of ECOWAS. Speaking during a media engagement at his office in Painesville Monday, Strutter maintained that the exportation of goods among the business people in member states in the West African region has received the endorsement of ECOWAS heads of state. According to Mr. Strutter, based on the agreement of ECOWAS Small Business Association, Libya will be changing the identification cards of its members in order to be able to do any legal business in the West African region. The National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority and Egypt Lakes and Fish Resources Protection and Development Agency have signed a memorandum of understanding for a technical cooperation to enhance fisheries governance. The ceremony was held on Monday in Cairo, Egypt. NAFA boss Emma Glasgow and Major General Al Hussein Fahad Mohammed signed on behalf of their respective countries. According to a press release from the National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority, the MOU focuses on aquaculture development, enhancing fisheries governance through monitoring, control and surveillance, and strengthening cooperation to conduct scientific research programs. The release also added that a dispatch from Cairo has indicated that the primary aim of the Memorandum of Understanding is geared towards strengthening technical cooperation between Liberia and Egypt for mutual benefits. The cooperation is expected to facilitate trade and increase private sector participation, with a major goal to transition from dominated subsistence fish farming sector to full-scale fishery research programs, among others. The MOU will promote capacity building opportunities for local farmers, students, researchers, and experts exchange programs for the Fisheries Department at the University of Liberia and other tertiary institutions. The chair of Liberia configuration of the Peace Building Commission and permanent representative of Sweden to the United Nations, Nicola Classy, is leading a high-level delegation on a mission to Liberia from November 21 to the 26th. The visit is aimed at advancing dialogue on Liberia's peace-building priorities, assessing progress, and exploring strategies to address emerging challenges in sustaining peace. During a courtesy visit to Liberia's Foreign Minister Sarah Besloyanti, Ms. Classy underscored the importance of continued collaboration between Liberia and the international community in fostering peace and stability. Welcoming the delegation on behalf of President Bouakai, Minister Yanti expressed Liberia's profound gratitude to the United Nations and the Peace Building Commission for their steadfast support. The Ministry of Gender and Partners have launched the 16 Days of Activism Against Sexual and Gender-Based Violence. The 16 Days Activism Against Gender-Based Violence was initiated in 1991 by the first Women's Global Leadership Institute and has since grown into a global movement. It runs from November 25th to December 10th each year, symbolizing the international community's resolve to eradicate gender-based violence. In a one-minute video released by USA in 2021, several Liberians, including women and men, were seen doing a witness for the 16 days of activism against sexual and gender-based violence in their local vernaculars. The Liberian Government Hospital in Buchanan, Grand Bassa County has opened its first neonatal intensive care facility to reduce neonatal mortality in the county. The Liberian Government Hospital has, over the years, played a pivotal role in significant health delivery for residents of Grand Bassa County. According to research, Liberia's neonatal mortality rate is 26 deaths per 1,000 live births. Speaking during the opening ceremony, the lead of the Ministry of Health, Dr. Nusha Noan, said neonatal unit has the capacity of keeping up to 10 children for proper health care. Dr. Noan also disclosed that the government hospital in Buchanan is the first public hospital across the 15 counties of Liberia to have neonatal center. The National Custom Brokers Association of Liberia has graduated over 404 persons who are considered emerging customs brokers. The graduation ceremony took place over the weekend and marks the 6th graduation exercise carried out by the National Custom Brokers Association of Liberia. Remarking at the ceremony, Deputy Commissioner for Technical Affairs at the Liberia Revenue Authority, Gabriel Montgomery, applauded the graduates for their efforts and further challenged them to remain professional in the discharge of their duties. According to him, the role of a custom broker is not only to facilitate trade, but also safeguard the integrity of the country's economic system and contribute to the physical health of the nation, amongst others. Also speaking, the national president of the Custom Brokers Association of Liberia, James Heenan, applauded the students for their successful completion. Mr. Heenan, at the same time, encouraging the emerging custom brokers to remain professional brokers as they enter the system. The National Custom Brokers Association of Liberia was enacted in 1994 as the mother organization for all individuals and firms and businesses who are engaged in customs clearing and freight forwarding in Liberia. And over 200 teachers undergoing training at the Liberia Standard Teacher Training College have completed the writing of an essay test administered by the college. According to the training director of Liberia Teacher Training College, Andrew Fire, the over 200 teachers who sat the essay test are teachers who have completed their training at the institution and are preparing for graduation. Speaking to reporters at the climax of the test during the weekend at Boswan Junior and Senior High School, Mr. Fire disclosed that the test was administered by the college in collaboration with the Ministry of Education. He noted that the essay exam administered by the college is intended to have a fair analysis and understanding relative to the level of skills obtained by teachers in the classrooms, adding that the test started on November 10th and ended on the 23rd. Mr. Fire further stressed that teachers will be eligible to graduate from the institution based on their successful results from the test, adding that those who will fail will not graduate but will repeat a semester graduating from college.
Sandwich with the news bulletin. The news bulletin is a regular feature on King's Newsroom. A reminder you listen to the King's Newsroom, 45 minutes news about Liberia, Africa, and our one word. Story stopping the news this afternoon. U.S. Ambassador to Liberia, Mark Turner, warns against abuse of the rule of law in a removal of House Speaker Jonathan Fonanti Kofa, as former President George Weah raises concerns over hijack of democracy by the invited Speaker Hostels. In nearly a month of protest, Davos of the National Elections Commission demands salaries and benefits payment. The aggrieved neck workers accused neck boss David Elder Brown Sanan and others of failing to address their plight. And also in the news, United Methodist Church suspends vice president at the Bishop John G. Ignis Graduate School, Reverend Jerry Kula, for reportedly undermining the United Methodist Church teachings. Away from Liberia, Israel's military says it carried out strikes on 6 Hezbollah targets in southern Beirut earlier today. China has warned Washington that no one will win a trade war as Donald Trump threatens to impose an additional 10% tariff on goods heading to the United States. We'll take a break to be back with voices of the newsmakers. Welcome back and thanks for being there. United States Ambassador to Liberia Mark Turner has issued a warning for the respect of the rule of law in the political maneuvering at the House of Representatives for the removal of House Speaker Fonanti Kofa. Speaking Monday, November 25, when the U.S. Ambassador visited former President George Weah at his rehab residence, Ambassador Turner disclosed that the U.S. government is closely monitoring events at the Capitol Hill and is looking to see how Liberia's political process plays out peacefully and with respect to the rule of law. On Sunday, November 24, during regular church service, former President George Weah blamed the Boakas administration for the impasse at the House of Representatives. The former Liberian leader also condemned the action of the lawmakers, stating that the rebelling lawmakers are trying to hijack Liberia's democracy.
People are trying to hijack democracy after they have broken a record of true democracy. They're trying to off the speaker from the house unconstitutionally. You understand? And the entire world is watching. And unconstitutionally they try to ask the speaker. And there's nothing wrong. I've always taken my case to ECOWAS. We were children, we have children here, we were people from characters to the country. That what we try to solve. But no things that we solve. Today, the city of I said to people, what they're doing, it was great because even through the inauguration, if you look at the video, go to the video. Waka did not answer the question. The question I said, I will protect, I will defend. He never answered. When they come to that class, all you have for lawyer to civil service, they need to make sure that our laws are protected and don't pass it on prevail. We are program record to uphold the rule of law and to protect democracy.
Former President George Weah. Aggrieved staffers of the National Elections Commission are continuing protests over unpaid salaries, arrears, and benefits by authorities of the National Elections Commission. A number of the next staffers on Monday staged a protest at the headquarters of the National Elections Commission in what is considered a continuation of the demands for salaries and other benefits. On November 5, about 110 staffers of the National Elections Commission signed a resolution calling for swift action on their demands for the payment of salaries and benefits, which is reportedly part of a broader grievances within the NEC. During the Monday protest at the headquarters of the National Elections Commission, the protesters, who were seen beating drums in the compounds of the NEC, vowed to continue their action until the salaries and benefits are paid.
If we want to sell, because we're not talking rap, we're not destroying anything, we're not breaking anything there, but we have to and we'll keep it strong. And nobody working, you can go in the front office, nobody working there. You see somebody from here calling the police to come and start their base here. How we started the area for this, we get our police, 40 hours for this back, in the process, we're all there, we get our money, we want our money, we want our money, we want it. We want our money, I want that, we want it, we work for it, we work for it, and that money, we take it to everybody, we work our money, that was our money to us, we work for it, we work for it. If you're money down, but if you're not in for us, every day we'll be not in for us.
Aggrieved staffers of the National Elections Commission that speaking during a protest on Monday. Bond County District 6 Representative Mohamed Briggs Mensah has challenged the majority bloc to remove Speaker Fonati Kofa in accordance with law by requiring the required number approved by the Constitution. She said while it is true that she abstained and remains unaligned until the right things are done, it is prudent to resolve the issues and have a quorum that could constitute a 37 lawmakers to do the Liberian people's job. Representative Mensah added that it is necessary for her colleagues to come to the main chamber to express their grievances if the speaker does not exonerate himself properly.
Few of our colleagues say they have a problem. Some of the problem they're listing are Fonati Kofa is a felony, he's committed crimes. But before we will be letting him in the house, he has this problem. When did you see it to make sure to critique it? So are you telling our people, the deputies, we being the deputies of the people, are you telling all the decision we made to elect as speaker wasn't good? And you say the ECOWAS issue, there is nothing on our agenda to say someone objected to these names that went to ECOWAS, that it was not done properly. You say funding. Okay, funding, that's why we need to audit the house. If we audit the house, we're going to know the treason with this money went, and then we can hold the person responsible. But it's also your right. He's a speaker. You elected him. It's your right to say you have this kind of money. But what you need to do is give him due process. So make sure that he's being having the opportunity to answer to these things, to clarify these things, and to exonerate himself for these things. And if you are not pleased with it, you have the right to still take your vote and remove him. And for us, when this issue started, we said we are seeing two speakers being removed, and just by colleagues going to another chambers or going sitting to another place and say, we don't want you. At the end of the day, the pressure gets on you and you resign. We said we didn't want it to be done like that. Let our rules follow to the letter. Our rules say to tell me for the 9 person should come together and vote and move you or have a resolution and put it on the floor and remove it. So if that is not done, it becomes a problem. So in going on, we were not on anybody's side. The issue people say you on the side, but I think of Afa Amakusa, he don't have a block. He's a junior elected speaker that was going to chambers to make sure to do the people work. So we said that we wanted to see the rules be followed. We wanted to see the constitution be withheld, that it will be respected by our own self that are lawmakers. So we went to plenary over and over, and then there was no quorum. It means that you must be able to convince your colleague, 37 of us should come to work and do the people business.
Broom County District 6 Representative Mama Briggs Mensah. The Ministry of Gender and Partners have launched the 16 Days of Activism Against Sexual and Gender-Based Violence. The 16 Days Activism Against Gender-Based Violence was initiated in 1991 by the First Women's Global Leadership Institute and has since grown into a global movement. A 1-minute video released by USAID in 2021, several Liberians, including women and men, are seeing the awareness for the 16 days of activism against sexual and gender-based violence in their local vernaculars.
Ndi basanya ebe mwe kwenyo onya ye gboro eni na mere musa chana be violence in mo bo nyoro ma mo kani bo ma para bla 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 sin mo awanya ba yu jara ku a bo you fly you asa mara go fly mo mara se go fly aga ma kabe nga le ne ko nga kakalia nga ngwe wo bo tinanga e plana wo ko dani ko dideni ko bemiani ka go to amede ka go to atoti ade ba de me I could be your mother, your sister, your daughter. Stop domestic violence.
Voices of Liberians, they're creating awareness for 16 days of activism in a video, 1-minute video released by the USAID in 2021. Nema County Senator Prince Johnson has dedicated the PUIG Polytechnic University Auditorium in honor of Togolese President. In early November 2014, Senator Johnson led an array of educators and leaders to break grounds for the establishment of the university, which was later granted its charter in 2021 by the National Commission on Higher Education to run a full-fledged university in Liberia to offer bachelor degree programs. Speaking Monday at the ceremony in Ganta, Senator Prince Johnson said naming the hold in honor of the late president of Togo is aimed at appreciating him for his numerous contributions through education to the people of Liberia and the West African region as a whole.
I, Senator Prince Mary Johnson, founder and chairman board of trustee of the PYJ Polytechnic University, in consultation and with the approval of the board of trustees of the university, I hereby declare, let the world know, let Liberians know, and who never knows. I hereby declare this beautiful, this magnificent, the honor of the late president Nasimba Adima. Therefore, it is called Nasimba Adima Hall. To all of you, Liberia, wherever you are around the world, this hall of the PYJ Polytechnic University is hereby be the Nasimba.
Serving as guest speaker at the occasion, Kanga Malik Nachimbi, an official of the Togolese government, thanked the Board of Trustees of the PUIG Polytechnic University for the honor bestowed on the late Togolese president.
As I start here with a lot of humility, I would like to greet the elders, to thank them for the warm, very warm welcome that they gave to me and my delegation. Good, and it's very interesting for us, and we know that we will come back. I would like to begin my remarks by giving thanks to God Almighty who has allowed us to be here today. We thank Him for the peace in our respective countries and for the help He grants to our leaders. Indeed, on behalf of the Togolese government, He instructed me to pay a special tribute to his brother, the Honorable Senator Prince Yoli Johnson, for this mark of friendship and fraternity that he has shown toward himself and toward all the Togolese people by naming this hall after His Excellency Nasibe Iyadu. He wished to recognize here the leadership of Mr. Johnson and his commitment to a bright future for Liberian youth.
A reminder you're listening to King's News Broom 45 minutes news about Liberia, Africa, and our one word. Story stopping the news this afternoon. U.S. Ambassador to Liberia, Mark Turner, warns against abuse of the rule of law in the removal of House Speaker Councilor Jonathan Fonati Kofa, as former President George Weah raises concerns over hijack of democracy by the Invito Speaker Austin. In nearly a month of protest, staffers of the National Elections Commission demand salaries and benefits payment. The aggrieved NEC workers accused NEC boss David Brown Lasana and others of failing to address their plight. United Methodist Church suspends Vice President at the Bishop John G. Ignis Graduate School, Reverend Jerry Kula, for reportedly undermining the United Methodist Church teachings. And away from home, Israel's military says it carried out strikes on 6 Hezbollah targets in southern Beirut earlier today. China has warned Washington that no one will win the trade war as Donald Trump threatens to impose an additional 10% on tariff 10% goods on tariff heading to the United States. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. Welcome back and thanks for being there. The president of the Liberia Business Association has returned home after participating in a 4-day meeting of the ECOWAS Small Business Associations in Abidjan, the Ivory Coast. Labour President James Troughton said delegates at the meeting have resolved to support the exportation of goods produced to each other of the member states of ECOWAS. Speaking in media engagement at his office in Painesville Monday, Troughton maintained that the exportation of goods among the business people in member states in the West African region has received the endorsement of the ECOWAS heads of state.
I just coming from a meeting, the ECOWAS meeting, and I saw the Nigerians. They pulled out a lot of people, but for Liberia, we were just 2. But yesterday, I make a mark that those are carrying 1,000 people, they recognize it too. Now, we were only talking Libya in Liberia, but Libya is on the platform, national platform of the 15 member states of ECOWAS. Now, we'll be engaging government for improving the private sector of our country. Now, we are not talking about people coming to our country to do business. We are telling people how we can take what we produce here to other market, to do market expansion, not people coming into the country. We have been advocating over the years for the African Continental Trade Agreement will come in, and then we saw ECOWAS being a 50-member state. So the issue is we have business association here. What are the business association doing? Because we don't interact with one another. So the same with our government is interacting with one another. We want the business association to interact under the ESCOWA chain. And so therefore that was approved by the government, the 50-member state, that the business association be able to also work like the way they work to be able to see how the private sector move into our region.
Labour President James Troughton, that's speaking. The Liberian Government Hospital in Buchanan, Grand Bassa County has opened its first neonatal intensive care facility to reduce neonatal mortality in the county. Liberian Government Hospital has over the years played a pivotal role in significant health delivery for residents of Grand Bassa County. According to research, Liberia's neonatal mortality rate is 26 deaths per 1,000 live births. Speaking in the opening ceremony, the team lead of the Ministry of Health, Dr. Nosha Noah, said the neonatal unit has the capacity of keeping up to 10 children for proper health care.
On behalf of the Ministry of Health, that represented Dr. Louis and also we say with a plus, and we welcome our initiative to review neonatal mortality rate throughout Nigeria. Starting with the referral hospital in Zemba, so it is a plus, and we say, I think it's the first step in Zemba to be proud that they have a relationship today that we can boast of. The expand is still a major neonatal mortality is at all costs. Thank you into the team. Thank you to the National Government Hospital. Thank you to the President for this initiative. We say other team members that came from Zemba, so we have nurses, we have doctors, we have things like this, and we say thank you.
Team lead of the Ministry of Health, Dr. Nosha Noah, there speaking. The National Custom Brokers Association of Liberia has graduated over 404 persons who are considered emerging custom brokers. The graduation ceremony took place over the weekend and marks the 6th graduation exercise carried out by the National Custom Brokers Association of Liberia. Remarking at the ceremony, Deputy Commissioner General for Technical Affairs at the Liberia Revenue Authority, Gabriel Montgomery, applauded the graduates for their efforts and further challenged them to remain professional in the discharge of their duties.
It is both an honor and a privilege to stand before you today as we celebrate a significant milestone. What is that milestone? The milestone is the graduation of a new group of customs broker professionals who will play a pivotal role in Liberia's economic future. On behalf of the Liberia Revenue Authority, on behalf of the Commissioner General of the Liberia Revenue Authority, and the entire nation, I congratulate each of you for completing this rigorous and highly rewarding training. Today, you are not just the graduates, you are the future leader of customs and trade.
Also speaking, the national president of the Custom Brokers Association of Liberia, James Hinnon, applauded the students for their successful completion.
I am especially proud of all of you. I'm confident because the training package you got is far better than any custom broker class. Thank you. One thing I will not play as a security, I will not be one of you danger everywhere you go to solicit contract or to do the business of the Custom Brokers Association or your own level work with honesty.
Over 200 teachers undergoing training at the Liberia Standard Teacher Training College have completed the writing of an essay test administered by the college. Speaking to reporters at the climax of the test during the weekend at the Boswen Junior and Senior High School, Reverend Andrew Fayad disclosed that the test was administered by the college in collaboration with the Ministry of Education.
In teacher education, we have two evaluations that are conducted. We have the entry evaluation. This prepared us to know the kind of teachers that are coming in the system. And upon the completion of the training, like these candidates, over 200 of them that enrolled in our training program for academic 2024 have completed their rigorous training through our classroom activities. The Ministry of Education insist that all teacher training institutes in Liberia must conduct final exit exams. And this exit exam is intended to have fair assessment and evaluation understanding of the level of comprehensions, the level of better understanding in terms of the pedagogical skills and other related skills as it relates to the training of teachers' education.
Several teachers who sat the essay Test expressed confidence in passing the SE exam, something they said. Many of the questions they encounter in the exam were materials they did in the classrooms.
I'm happy to be among my comrades to take tests, especially open tests, or public tests. Okay. And then my experience that what I've learned eh, have come back to me to give to my master trainers. That what they have taught me, I should be able to tell them that I've learned already because this is the last stage.
I'm from the adult males branch of the Liberia Standard Teacher Training College. Thank you. I'm happy also to be with you. The test is fine. The test is kind of helping us to get a feedback from what we have been doing. It will help us to know whether we have taken in something and to be able to give back to our teachers what they have taught us.
Scores of beneficiaries from Bishop Nimnet Doyen's initiatives has hailed him for his tremendous contributions in transforming the lives of many ordinary citizens in Monserrato District 2 and beyond. Over the past few months, Bishop Doyen, along with his team, has been actively engaged in several key projects aimed at improving the living conditions of residents in Monserrato District 2 and Clich Heartland. Madame Susan Kopo Bele, Assistant Superintendent of the Pepewulu Town Market, Christian Weah, a prominent citizen of Chicken Farm Community and Chairman of Amina Mosque, Mohammed Diwan, expressed deep appreciation for the Doyen support.
So we pray that God should give him long life. My name Marie Wallo from Pepperton Market.
My name is Sila from Pepperton Market. I said, "Better boy, pepper, real oil."
My name is Esther Flomo. Pepperton Market. Hallelujah for the potato green. Hallelujah for the Batigo people.
Yeah.
Piayu atele
Yeah.
Piayu.
Information Minister Gerald McPeer has reaffirmed government's commitment to lowering the prices of commodities on the market. Speaking in an interview Monday, Pia revealed that the Ministry of Information has been working with the Commerce and Transport Ministries.
And even with the prices that you were talking about, once we can sustain the drop and with the actions to be taken by both commerce, transport, and everybody else, probably in the rate rate, the cost of things, the prices, we have to come down. But when they are happening from the beginning, people ought to be a little bit careful. And that's why we don't blame them much. Because say you have already gathered your goods, you bought your goods. You bought them at a certain high price, and all of a sudden you see the rate dropping. You drop your prices, not considering how you bought it. If that dropping process of the rate is not sustained and it goes back out, there's a potential also that you may have sold what you bought expensive at a lower price.
Information Minister Joel McPeer. Briefly away from Liberia's Israelis military says it carried out strikes on 6 Hezbollah targets in southern Beirut earlier today. The targets included infrastructure sites used by Hezbollah's coast-to-coast sea missile unit, command centers, and additional infrastructure in the Dahil area, which is considered a key Hezbollah stronghold, the Israel Defense Force says in a statement. It adds that steps were taken to mitigate the risks of harming civilians, that's referencing an evacuation order. And China has warned Washington that no one will win a trade war as Donald Trump threatens to impose an additional 10% tariff on goods heading to the United States. This is now the 60% tariff Trump had pledged to slap on Chinese goods during his campaign. So some businesses who export phones, handbags, and furniture would have already been hit hard at the first trade war might be breathing a sign of relief. Others will fear this is just Trump's opening shot and worry more tariffs are on the way. On that note, that's how we come to the near end of this edition of King's News Broom. But before we leave, a quick reminder of stories to follow in the headlines. U.S. Ambassador to Liberia Mark Turner warns against abuse of the rule of law in the removal of House Speaker Councillor Jonathan Fonanti Kofa, as former President George Weah raises concerns over hijack of democracy by the embattled Speaker Austin. In nearly a month of protest Staffers of the National Elections Commission demand salaries and benefits payment. The aggrieved NEC workers accuse NEC boss David Eto Brown Lansanan and others of failing to address the plight. You also heard in the news United Methodist Church suspends Vice President at the Bishop John G. Ignis Graduate School Reverend Jerry Coley for reportedly undermining the United Methodist Church teachings. And away from home, Israel's military says it carried out strikes on 6 Hezbollah targets in southern Beirut earlier today. China has warned Washington that no one will win a trade war as Donald Trump threatens to impose an additional 10% tariff on goods heading to the United States. Many thanks to all of our reporters, correspondents, and all those who helped in making this edition of King's News Broom sources. Sam Andrews brought you the news bulletin. Paulinus Johnson, Salah Control, and handled the technical aspect of this production. On behalf of the team, I'm Sherman Deere. I presented. Thanks for listening and watching.